Oh man.
Um, I like that she sings. Oftentimes it's just like kind of changes the whole atmosphere of like a day or something like that. Because I mean, who's singing at the top of their lungs and is has a bad day and is pouting? And that kind of is a good quality in my mind.
So, I love how genuine he is. Whenever he tells me something, he doesn't just like say words like, he doesn't just throw things out there like I do. I just kind of like, if I think someone's shoes are kind of cute, I'll be like, oh, their shoes are cute. But like when Aaron says something, he means it. So I know like when he tells me like, oh, Sierra, you look nice today. I'm like, oh, like I must look really great today. Or like, I just always believe him when he like, tells me things because he's always very genuine and sincere in everything he says. The end. Okay, so the first time we met, I'd been back from my mission for like a month, and we were set up on a blind date. My dad's hygienist had just like gone jeeping with his family, so she asked me, she's like, hey, do you want to go on a date with this guy? And she showed me his picture, and I was like, oh yeah, he's cute.
I remember walking up to the door, and like I was about to knock on the door, and Sierra was playing the piano and singing, and I could just hear this girl on the other side just like belting this song. And I was just like, all right, that's kind of cool. She plays the piano. Like I knocked at the door and she's just like all smiles like usual, just super happy.
And then our first date, so I actually had a date later that night, but I didn't tell him that. So I was like, oh, I have to be back by 3 o'clock. And he was like, yeah, okay, that's fine.
The whole time, the first date, she was just happy. And I remember just like going from place to place on our date that she was just singing and laughing the whole time. So to me, that's what stuck out the most, is that I felt like she could be herself and that she was just happy. I don't know.
But then like when we were on the date, I ended up having so much fun that by the end, I was like, oh, it doesn't matter when I go back because I just ended up having so much fun. And then I invited him back for our family murder mystery dinner, so I guess it went pretty well.
And this is actually a really good question. Is I take it out a couple girls and girls I dated previously, I felt like they kind of weren't themselves.
Both of us, it was a blind date, so both of us were just kind of on the date thinking like, well, I don't really care what the other person thinks, we can just be ourselves, and like who cares if they think that we're weird. At least that's the attitude I had. I was like, well, if he thinks I'm weird, then I never have to talk to him again.
Sierra was herself. She was 100% herself. I don't know if that was because it was a blind date and she thought, oh, I'm never gonna see this guy if I act crazy and sing Frozen in his Jeep as we're driving from place to place, or what, but I just got the overwhelming feeling that she was genuinely her and she didn't feel like she needed to be somebody else.
He was just like really real and someone that I could relate with. We just like, I remember thinking after the date, like, wow, we just have so much in common. Like we just were talking about like our families and things that we like to do, and everything was just like, oh yeah, that's the same with me. And so we just like had so much to talk about. So yeah, then I just really wanted to see him again. That's a lot of words. Fun, spontaneous, recreational. Does that count as a word?
It's a fun, spontaneous, laughter.
Like we like to do like a lot of like outdoorsy, like fun things. Yeah. And well, the gospel is definitely very important, so I guess like spiritual.
Light and easy.
And definitely How many letters?
One more.
One more word? I guess.
Laughter, obviously, because Sierra's always laughing. I think probably I don't know. I don't think I'm that funny, but I think Sierra laughs at anything, so it makes me think I'm funny. So we're always laughing at each other, or I'm laughing at her, she's laughing at me.
Okay, so I have fun, or outdoorsy, spontaneous, spiritual, and real. Just, I don't know if that makes sense, but that's just like always something that I've loved about him, is just the way that we can like connect with each other on like a real level, and I feel like I can be myself.
So I think that's good. Spontaneous, just because we like to do things, and just be out, moving out, like doing stuff. I think that's a quality both of us have, is and probably the way we grew up is just we'd rather be out doing stuff and doing stuff together rather than sitting at home or sitting on the couch.
Oh, this is a good story.
Sierra did by accident, and I actually have a problem with that word.
So I actually said it first, and it was like an accident. Well, not an accident. Like I meant it, but like I
never said that to another girl because I don't think people understood what it meant. I hear like my buddies say it all the time, like I love you, and I'm like, dude, you've been dating her for 3 weeks, like, and you're in high school, or you just like barely met her. You don't understand like what love is.
So I was like saying goodbye to him one night, and he was like, he told me something. I don't really remember what it was, but I was like, oh, it's okay, Erin, I still love you. And then I like gave him a kiss, and then I like pulled out, and he grabbed my arm, and he was like, wait, what'd you say? And I was like embarrassed. I was like, I still love you. And then I was like, freak, I said the L word, and it wasn't time yet. And I was like, oh, that's so embarrassing. I like jumped the boat on that, and now he doesn't love me. But then a few weeks later, we were at a trip with my family, and we were just like in the hot tub at night, and we were talking. We'd always like joke about marriage and about like our future lives. And I just remember saying like, so like we talk about this all the time, but like, what do you think? And then that was the time that he just said, he looked at me and he was like, Sierra, I love you. And I was like, yes, like I didn't ruin it.
So for me, that was a big deal, but she definitely said it first by accident, and it was kind of awkward when she said it. She kind of caught herself. She's like, well, like I meant it, but
So, but yeah, I said it first.
Good story. That was a good story.
Yeah.
Okay.
So our first kiss, I should probably keep this PG rated. It was on Halloween. It was the third time, it was our third date, and like the third time I'd ever seen him in my life. So we ended up going to this like really weird cross-dressing Shakespeare play, which wasn't intentional anyways. It's not important to the story.
as Sierra describes it, I mean, I think that's what got me is the following dates after. It was like on our third date.
And then we're just like in his Jeep, and then we were just talking for forever, and then I was like, okay, like I should probably go, but I was just like waiting for him to kiss me because I wanted him to. And then I remember he started like playing with the radio. Maybe that was like his way of like leaning over or something.
Just went for it.
But then we just made out for a while.
It was really good, but
That was the first kiss. I think that we both knew for a long time before we ever talked to each other about it. At least I remember we had our first conversation about it in like January, but we specifically said like, all right, like let's not tell anyone yet because we'd only been dating since like November.
I think third date I had an idea like, oh, she has qualities that I would want in a wife. I actually even thought on my mission, oh, like I can't play the piano. I have a horrible singing voice, so. And I don't speak another language, so if I had like a girl with those qualities, like that would be awesome.
I don't even remember how it got brought up, but we had just finished like watching a movie. We were just kind of sitting on the couch just talking, and we were just kind of talking about like, where do you think this will go? And we were both like thinking marriage. But I think he was the one that said it first. But
I knew that I wanted to marry Sierra when we attended one of my companion's weddings. And after his wedding, I was like, whoa, like that could be a possibility, and we kind of talked about it. But I think it was then that I kind of knew that it was gonna go there.
My favorite things about Aaron, first of all, that he is just like really funny and weird, which obviously like I love that because there are sometimes that we're just like really weird together and it's great. I also love that he's very smart and organized and clean because he makes me want to be like that. And for those of you that know me, that's something that, that's kind of the motivation that I need in my life because I'm not exactly that way right now, but I'm working on it. So it's great that he like motivates me to be better.
That she's always happy. She has, it was really herself, like I mentioned, but she's spontaneous. Like if I'm like, oh, let's go do this, she's like, oh yeah, let's do it. No questions asked. She's in. It's all about it.
His outlook on life, it just makes me excited for life, and it makes me excited for our future and just for like the plans that we're gonna have together and the life that we're gonna have together. It just makes me excited to be with him forever, I guess. Sounds kind of cheesy, but I guess I could go on for a while, but that sums it up.
She's outdoorsy. She doesn't complain. She always sees about the bright side of things. I don't think I've ever really heard her. Maybe I've heard her complain once or twice, but it was definitely about something your family did. Nothing about what I've done.
Yeah, I hate kissing in his Jeep. It's not fun. There's like this big center console. It makes everything more difficult.